Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Most people really don't get this. They're going to spend and spend and spend on crazy things that they absolutely don't need. And then they're going to whine about not having enough to save. But if you live like a billionaire, then you can actually start making money. Wait, I'm contradicting myself, aren't I? At one point, I'm telling you to be frugal. Then, I'm telling you to live like a billionaire. Well, when I say live like a billionaire, I mean one specific billionaire, Warren Buffett. Hello, and welcome back to Tied to Wealth, where you're just one sale away from financial success. Billionaire Warren Buffett is known as the Oracle of Omaha, and he's known as that for a good reason. Despite being worth over $100 billion, he enjoys a simple taste, frugal living, and generous philanthropy. He lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500, and he says he wouldn't trade it for anything. According to Buffett, poor people waste a lot of money on a lot of things, and that keeps them poor. Let's talk about the things poor people waste money on, and what's stopping them from ever getting rich.
My general advice to people, we have an interest in credit cards, but people, I think people should avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank to be raided.
Credit cards can be extremely convenient, especially in the case of emergencies. Yet, they come with extremely high and complicated to understand interest rates that can overshadow any benefit you get from them. If you don't pay the full balance every month, then you're going to be paying a lot of money in fees for no good reason. Because of credit cards, there's a temptation for people to overspend. When you're not laying out the cash in front of you, and when nothing is being deducted from your bank account, then you can get detached from your spending. If you're not careful, it's easy to start falling into suffocating debt. So at the end of the day, what really matters is you need to be extremely careful with your money, and credit cards make it extremely difficult for someone to do that. Then there's the issue of late fees. Now imagine you did fall into a lot of debt and you failed to make the payment. You're going to be hit with a late fee, which can approach $40. When you're constantly paying late fees, the losses will compound, and along with high interest rates, you could be in for a whole lot of trouble. Because once all this happens, your credit score can be ruined. Credit scores measure how trusted you are with borrowed money. That's why when you use a credit card wisely, you improve your credit score. But when you're irresponsible, you can damage your credit. This can affect you in two horrible ways. Firstly, it can keep you away from capital that you can use to build businesses or improve your life. Secondly, even if you do get approved for a loan, you're going to be charged extremely high interest rates. This is the kind of problem I'm talking about when I talk about how your losses can be compounded. Honestly, if you mess up with your credit card, you're going to need to win the lottery to get out of it, and that's extremely improbable. So, if you want to be wise, do use a credit card since it has many benefits, but use it wisely, and use it only when you know you can pay off the balance in full every month. Because you're not going to have any money to invest if you're constantly paying interest and late fees, and you won't be able to build a stream of passive income. Heck, you might not even be able to save for retirement if you walk down this path. Gambling seems like the shortcut to wealth, especially if you think you're smart enough to play the person, or whatever other Harvey Specter-esque quotes you've heard. But I promise you, it's not the shortcut to wealth. Warren Buffett has emphasised the importance of understanding the odds, and he urges people to make financial decisions that favour their long-term wealth accumulation, not momentary thrills. Once you start gambling, problems can really start adding up a lot more quickly than you realise. Bills don't get paid, credit cards are maxed out, and debts start to accumulate. People start looking towards payday loans as a solution, but their high interest rates makes the situation even worse. In some extreme cases, people start borrowing or stealing money from loved ones or businesses they work at, and that can get you into a heap of trouble. Buffett says that there's nothing wrong with playing a game or two every once in a while, but do it as long as you're doing it for fun. If you start looking at it as a solution for your finances, then gambling isn't going to do anything other than make things worse and put you in a situation where you feel like you can't undo the damage that you've done. Although some CEOs drive around in million-dollar cars, you won't see Buffett doing the same. In a BBC documentary, his daughter says that he bought cars that could be bought at reduced prices. For example, he would buy cars that had been damaged by hail, and then he would fix those cars. You've got to understand, he keeps cars until I tell him. This is getting embarrassing. Time for a new car, said his daughter in the documentary.
If I could write a check in 30 seconds and be in the same position I'm in now with a newer car, I'd be glad to do it this afternoon. But I don't like to trade away when there's really no benefit to me at all. I'm totally happy with the car. I just don't want to trade away the amount of time I'd have to spend fooling around to get familiar with and get title to and do all the rest of the things. Pick one out.
Remember this when you're in the market for a car. Cars tend to depreciate quickly, which can be detrimental for your finances. And if you lease or finance the latest, coolest model, you're throwing away money that could have gone to an asset that actually makes you money while you sleep. For example, a dividend reinvestment fund. By the way, if you're enjoying everything in this video so far, would really appreciate it if you could just like and hit the subscribe button. In a world where the average life cycle of a phone model is just 1 year, it can be tempting to upgrade after a couple of years, despite your device running completely fine. New gadgets may be tempting, but often the previous year's models serve just as well. Warren Buffett himself sticks to functional tech instead of flashy tech. Look, if you're a coder, I'm not saying stick to an old laptop that's making it extremely difficult for you to do your work. No. All I'm saying is, before you purchase a tech product, check the amount of money you have, check the price of the product, and then assess what value it's going to add to your life. If you conduct a lot of work on your phone and it's slow as heck, hurting your productivity, then yeah, sure, go for a new one. But don't do that because everyone else is getting one too. If you end up spending all your extra cash on tech, then you're not going to have enough left over to invest in your future or to build a passive income stream. Health truly is wealth. There's no point in any of this if you're not healthy and you're not working on yourself. In fact, working out is proven to make you smarter and more alert, and it also clears your head so you can make the right decisions. But gym memberships are expensive, and a lot of people end up buying them so they can invest that in their health, which is the right decision, except they never end up using it. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, that money could go into investments for your retirement. On top of that, low-cost fitness routines can be just as effective if they're regularly practiced. For example, investing in a home gym once so you don't have to pay the fees, or, running. Subscription services, if not carefully monitored, can become a financial drain. Folks buy all sorts of subscription services, even things that they don't really need, and that can really hurt your finances. It might seem like you're just spending around $50, $20 per month on something super cool, but all that can add up to hundreds of dollars, which can start putting a dent in your bank account. Instead of blindly purchasing subscription services, you should assess your needs and cancel any subscriptions you don't use regularly. Well, this sounds crazy. I mean, everyone's got to eat, right? I mean, yeah, but it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. When it comes to food, Buffett saves money by eating fast food. If he's feeling rich, he'll splurge by spending almost $4 on a bacon, egg and cheese biscuit sandwich. If the market's down, he might spend $3.19 on a sausage, egg and cheese sandwich instead. On a really bad day, the guy just buys 2 sausage patties, puts them together and then washes it down with a Coke. Dining at fancy, expensive restaurants for celebrations and special occasions are necessary, but make sure you can afford where you go. Other than that, make it a habit to cook at home on a daily basis, and do your best to keep your grocery bill within your budget. No, I'm not saying you should not take vacations. You definitely should be taking vacations. However, don't get into massive credit card debt over them, and don't stretch yourself too thin. While it's super important to find ways to relax, I mean, if you worked hard for your money, you should definitely spend it, but it's also important to stay within a certain budget. If you go into debt over your vacation, it's going to cause more stress later on than it relieved in the first place. Well folks, with that said, let us know in the comments if you agree with Warren Buffett and his money saving habits. See you next time.